It's gone so horribly wrong. General Kid's out, and all of his men are dead. As far as I can tell, I'm the last one alive.
I was a mild-mannered chemist. I formulated your toothpaste. Then they came, and everything changed for all of us. First, we sent out our bravest, most competent, most handsome diplomat to meet with them. It didn't go well. They call Earth Region 72. They want to capture us, enslave us, and take our planet. But if we have anything to say about it, our region will remain free.
There's events. There's events.
Come on, man!
They released Monster O.
They're here already! You're next! You're next! You're next!
All right. What was that? Was that a new intro? Oh my God. What did y'all think of the new intro? Oh, goodness gracious. Yes, there was a lot of Easter eggs in that new intro. Awesome new intro, courtesy of Lorne with the musical accompaniment of Christian Hanna. Hara. That was a great opening. Thank you, Richard. Awesome intro. Thank you, Dave. Hey, Chris, how are you doing? So yes, we are doing region free on a different night. No need to fret. We just needed to change nights. And we're going to kick off October with in style with a live commentary, the very first region free live commentary, and it is for the 1986 heavy metal horror classic Trick or Treat. The movie is available on YouTube. The link to it is in the pinned comment in the chat if you want to watch along with us. And I certainly would encourage you to watch along with us. This is a really fun heavy metal horror movie and a great way to kick off October. This was actually a recommendation from a patron, a Regionaire by the name of Jess Graham, a longtime supporter of the show. And so, Jess, I hope you're watching somewhere, and I hope you enjoy tonight's festivities. If you have any requests for live commentaries or topics you want to hear us cover on an upcoming show, follow the link in the description and become a patron today. All right, let's get the ball rolling here. I've got my record player set up. I've got the record ready to spin backwards, and we'll see what we can summon tonight. Joining me tonight, Horror Gal Susan. How's it going, Susan?
Hey, good, Piz. How are you?
Doing very good. Happy that you could join me here tonight on a Tuesday instead of our normal Thursday.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I decided to bring, obviously, 80s fan Chucky. And while I absolutely love this trick or treat, probably the most, I am also sporting the other trick or treat. So
She's
just
repping,
minus the O, you know.
she's repping trick or treat. I was gonna actually rep trick or treats, but there's no trick or treats shirts. That's such a, I don't get it. But anyway, thanks, Susan. Always good to see you.
Glad to be here.
You and your date Chucky. Hopefully
That's
he keeps his hands to himself. We don't want to cancel him.
He's drinking all the wine. I'm trying to stop him, so
you're gonna have a rough night, Susan.
He's going to get out of control. It should be fun. It'll be interesting.
We'll keep an eye on him. Also joining me tonight, Lauren. What's going on, Lauren?
Am I muted?
You are not muted.
Well, then something's clearly wrong. Yeah, I'm tired. I'm here. I'm ready to watch this movie. I haven't watched it for a couple of years. Last time I watched it, it didn't quite live up to my memories of it from when I saw it in the theater in '86, but that's okay. I'm sure it'll be fun, and no one will get hurt.
You were probably really high in '86, right?
I've never done drugs in my life, any drugs in my life. I might have been drunk, though. That's possible.
Okay. You were inebriated in some form or fashion.
13, but I might have been drunk.
Well, no time like, start young, That's our little words of encouragement for the kids out there. Start smoking young, drinking young, and your life will be perfect from then on.
Why do I think this is like the life instructions? Everything I needed to know I learned from Lyle Melendez.
Oh, geez. All right. Good to see you, Lauren. Glad you could. I know you're burning the candle at both ends here, so always cool.
Yeah, and I don't have as much candle to burn these days as I used to, so.
It's true. Also joining us tonight, and this is actually going to be her very first time watching this movie. So this is going to be special. Sam, how's it going?
I am the virgin sacrifice. Wait, is there a virgin sacrifice in this movie?
Yes.
I had to think there for a minute.
It's like a Rocky Horror thing,
It's perfect then. I'm on trend.
Virgin, yes.
And I love the ensemble.
Thank you. I wanted to go super 80s. Yes. So got to bring a little bit of color, even though if you've seen my backdrop before, there's already plenty of that happening.
The more color, the better. So
Indeed.
Yeah. But you're in for a real treat tonight, Sam.
Not a trick.
No. Well, maybe. You never know what's going to happen.
Because that was punny. Funny.
Even if it's a trick, though, no one's getting paid.
Damn.
I've asked the question. I've gotten the answer.
Lauren, I know you're tired, but man, you're kind of like just killing it on the jokes tonight.
Yeah, it'll get worse. I promise.
Excellent.
And joining me tonight, the voice of Region Free, the thunderous throat of Region Free, B-Movie Mike. What's going on, Mike?
Hi, what's up, man? The
How are
old
you?
Man has returned.
I'm
a little hoarse from screaming at the sky, but I'll try to get through it. But I went 11 years without drinking one time. What sucked. I mean, I turned 12, but I tried.
But
and I did all the drugs for Lauren because life seems so boring without him, and we see what happened to Lauren. So I don't know what that says.
I feel generous suddenly, and I didn't do anything.
How do we know that Lauren and Mike aren't actually the same person, like just at different points in time?
Yeah. Moving on.
I can never see Mike. I don't know whether it's my bad eyes or my bright lights, but I look at the black square. I just
my production values are top notch. We're talking movies.
No, you're just like that ethereal person that you're like, does he really exist? Is he really there?
Spare no expense.
he's enigmatic. You know, Michael Myers is the shape, Mike is the voice.
Yes. Yes.
But I saw this film in the theater as well. I'm slightly a few years senior of Junior over there, but you know, it came out the 24th of October of 1986. It was 5 days after my 18th birthday. I probably was high when I saw it in the theater. I'm not going to say it doesn't improve the film because I don't want to, you know, push any illegal substances that may be out there. But I'm not going to say it's going to hurt.
Are you trying to say that I'm going to enjoy it the most tonight?
Well, I love garbage, so I'm going to enjoy it anyway. I think it's still out of print on most formats or whatever, but I've got a DVD from like, I don't know, 20 years ago or something. It's, you know, I had to have it because I love horror movies. I love heavy metal. I love bad movies. And I was 18 years old. It was like the perfect storm.
It was a perfect storm.
I understand if everybody hates it and thinks it's garbage, but it's a masterpiece to me just because of all the wonderful things involved.
I love it too, so I'm already on board as well.
Actually, I found the DVD. The only reason I own the DVD is because somebody at the used bookstore put it in the music section instead of in the horror section because they saw Gene Simmons and Ozzy on the cover, and they put it in the music DVD section. So that's how I ended up with my copy.
That's how I got it at Amoeba Music here in LA. I couldn't find it. They said, "Oh, it's got to be in there." I said, "No, it's not in there." I said, "Oh, let's check music," and sure enough, it was there. That's how I got my copy. But of course, I'm totally prepared, and I'm just going to be watching it from the link you provided on my phone.
But Sam, don't get your hopes up. Gene and Ozzy, even though they're prominently displayed on the DVD, they're not in the movie that much. Yeah. So
that I know that much, but that's about the extent.
Yeah.
Okay. I think Ozzy's literally in it for about 3 seconds, but it's a memorable 3 seconds. Pretty memorable.
And they almost had Blackie Lawless as Sammy Kerr. He had auditioned for it, and they wanted him, but his stipulation was that Wasp do all the music. And they're like, "Well, we already have Fastway, so we can't use that." And he's like, "Well, if you're not going to use my band, then I'm not going to be in the movie."
I got to say,
so they went with the Solid Gold Dancer, which is an odd, you know, substitute for Blackie Lawless, but okay.
He does a great job. He does.
And I way prefer Fastway to Wasp, so we're good.
Well, I was a huge Fastway fan as well. I saw him open for AC/DC in '83 on their first tour, so I already knew who they were. So yeah, the soundtrack to this movie is my second favorite Fastway release. It's awesome.
Nice.
Followed by the self-titled first album.
Yeah. The first album's first, and this is number 2 for me.
Am I the only person that knew that Fastway existed only because of this movie?
Oh,
I think a lot of people
I
found
heard
it.
about them.
That was how I learned about Fastway. Yeah.
I mean, if you're a Motorhead fan, you don't really have an excuse, though.
Right. I mean, their lineage. I mean, Fastway, Fast Eddie Clark, Pete Way from UFO. Yeah. That's how it started. It was like a super group, and then Pete Way left, and you know,
and Mike
just kept the name.
Where did the drummer end up?
I forget actually.
Didn't he end up in a little band called what's the Irish punk band? What? Not the Pogues.
No, the singer ended up in Flogging Molly. Dave
that's
King.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. So Dave King's still touring with Flogging Molly, but unfortunately, Fast Eddie is no more.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Aww.
Let's do some shout outs here before we get the party started. We've got Dave from New Jersey in the chat. We've got the Daily Ghost, Robert Long. We've got Dan in the chat. How's it going, Dan? We've got Matt in the chat.
Matt in the chat, yes. Christian Hanna is there. He says, "What's up, guys? New theme go over well with the audience." It certainly did. I may even play that thing again here momentarily. It's that good. I may play it again.
You should.
Yes.
There's my buddy Chris all the way from Germany. Hope you're doing well, man. And Richard Skarinki is here. And DJ Donley is here. How's it going, DJ? And Bongos and Lemonheads. Hello, Bongos and Lemonheads.
I like some Lemonheads.
Not so much on the bongos.
And I'm not talking about the Evan Dando band either. I'm talking about the candy.
Yeah.
And there is Jess. Jess, this was kind of your request over on our Patreon to do a live commentary. So we're going to dedicate this to you, my friend. So Christian says, fun fact, the singer left Fastway in the late 80s and put out a fantastic album in 1990 under the band named Tarabundu. Check it out. Nice. Okay, so I'm going to play that intro again because I think it deserves to be played again for anybody who showed up late. This is our new intro courtesy of Lorne. Lorne's great editing and Christian's awesome rockin' music. So while you're watching this, get your copy of Trick or Treat set up. We're at the very beginning of the film. There's a link to it pinned in the chat if you want to watch along with us. It's on YouTube, free of charge. So take care of that while you're watching our awesome intro again.
It's gotten so horribly wrong. General Kid's out, and all of his men are dead. As far as I can tell, I'm the last one alive.
I was a mild-mannered chemist. I formulated your toothpaste. Then they came, and everything changed for all of us. First, we sent out our bravest, most competent, most handsome diplomat to meet with them. It didn't go well. They call Earth Region 72. They want to capture us, enslave us, and take our planet. But if we have anything to say about it, our region will remain free.
They're the best. They're the best.
They released Monster O.
They're here already. You're next. You're next. You're next.
The death of John Landis always gets me. The death of John Landis in that clip always gets me. Oh
So
my goodness.
cool.
If I could have my way, that's all the clip would have been, is that over.
So cool, Lauren. I mean, that is just
It's so good.
so freaking cool.
I just want to watch it on.
It's
loop.
really it's
I know,
really though.
right?
It's funny if you watch it without Christian's music, it just completely sucks for real.
Hey, so does Halloween. So.
Good point.
But yeah, that's love that intro. Great stuff. So all right, let's get the ball rolling here on Trick or Treat from 1986. Again, the link is in the chat. It's pinned. If you want to watch along with us, it's on YouTube, free of charge. We've got our copy of the film at the very beginning, 0.00. So I'll count down from 5, and then the chaos shall begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Dino so didn't want to make this movie.
I thought he was a big metalhead.
He so didn't want to make this movie. They were just all racing. All the production houses that had any kind of distribution all wanted to have their Freddy Krueger, and so everyone was trying. And the idea here was, metal was big in the 80s, Freddy was big in the 80s. How could it go wrong?
I should also add that this movie is also known as Ragman. This is the Ragman. This must be like a German release of the film. Yeah.
I like how the subtitles are only available in Portuguese.
That makes sense too.
Okay,
Sammy Kerr, legendary Sammy Kerr.
Mine stopped on Tony Fields. Where are you guys? I don't know what's going on.
I'm at Christopher Young is where I am.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm at Christopher Young too. This was Christopher Young's. No, I'm sorry. That was Storm That Dripped Blood. Was his first score.
Oh wow, I thought that was a Zong. It's just part of the hamster setup.
It's funny because Christopher Young is like such an iconic composer for the horror genre, and no one can remember anything from this movie except the Fastway.
Right. Like Christopher Young was like, I'll just put something together. You've got Fastway on the soundtrack. Let's talk about.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Piz. Are you guys at Ozzy Osbourne poster? And just my phone just completely died, so I'm just trying to make sure I'm on the same page with you guys, so I don't say stupid stuff like usual.
I'm Charles Martin Smith's director credit.
Yeah, yep. Charles Martin Smith. Yeah. Produced by Joel Swisson. I would love to get Joel Swisson on my channel. He produced so many interesting movies. He'd have lots of stories, I'm sure. Let's talk about our favorite 80s bands. Who's our favorite band, hair metal bands of the 80s?
I saw most of them on his wall. I was like, that looked like my record collection about 1986. There's Raven, and then there's Ozzy, and there's Twisted Sister, and oh yeah, I remember them. What was the other one? Lizzie Borden. Oh yeah, I loved Lizzie Borden.
Although Lizzie Borden's songs ended up in Black Roses, not this movie, Black Roses was created, I believe, to make this movie look better.
It was successfully.
Yeah.
Well done then.
Now I don't understand this gag. Like, how would they have done this? Like,
the old poke the hole in the milk carton trick, huh?
Yeah, but how would they have gotten his milk carton to begin with? Like, I don't get how this would be performed.
You're asking too many questions.
It would take some incredible timing, yes. I mean, unless you just poke the hole in every one. Yeah.
And then you're a real dick.
There's Melrose
what
Places.
What the fuck happened to his hair? You don't just... It was normal just a second ago.
He tried to go all like John Bon Jovi to school, and it just didn't work.
Didn't work, yeah. Didn't work. Mark Singer.
Mark
This
movie
Singer
got better.
Mark Price.
Hey, Badler shows up. I'm in.
Mark Price's friend in the film is Glenn. I forget his last name, but he directed the Black Christmas remake.
Glenn Morgan.
Glenn Morgan. Yeah, he was involved in the X-Files, and yeah. Oh, there's a bare butt.
Okay, I'm not there yet.
Well, it was very brief, and it was a dude, so we should be okay.
I mean, I can't tell you how many times this happened to me in high school.
It's a little weird that both the Polaroid camera and records are both back. So this movie is like contemporary.
Kind of is. Did anybody actually write letters to their favorite bands back in the day when writing letters was a thing?
No, we all saw the Stan music video. Come on.
There was the Kiss Army,
The Kiss Army. Mm-hmm.
Listen, when Hole were still on Sympathy for the Record Industry, I wrote them and Courtney wrote back. So
Really?
That's cool.
Wow.
I should find it. I can't do it in the time we're going to be on the air tonight, but it's hilarious. It's in magic marker and it's a big scribbly mess. And it says, "Yeah, you get it." And it says, and it's like the whole logo as big as you could possibly scroll, and under it there's a CL. But she answered it. But they were still on Sympathy for the Record Industry. They were on a minor label. They were not the band that they would be yet.
That's pretty cool. I wrote a letter to Alice in Chains once in the early 90s.
Oh, cool.
And then they rolled it up and used it to
exactly. No, I got a pamphlet back in the mail, like from their fan club, and my mom threw it away because they looked like Alice in Chains in the early 90s, and she was like, "You're not listening to get these guys," and she threw it away. So.
Oh no!
Yeah,
and now
your dream was dashed.
And now most of that band are the Man in the Box.
Yes, well, half of the people who were on that they're gone. Exactly. Yep.
Okay, are you guys on the video on TV?
He's just ripped the head off of the snake, and now he's drinking the snake's blood.
Oh.
Now he's rubbing the dead snake all over his bare chest.
I'm just slightly behind you.
This film was kind of having fun with the satanic panic of the moral majority of the time. That's why Ozzy does his cameo the way he does. Gene didn't want to do the rock star thing. He did an ode to his favorite DJ, Wolfman Jack. So I mean, again, it's of its time. It's one of those where I truly you had to have been there to have experienced the world at that time to kind of understand. I mean, it doesn't make it a better movie. To me, it does, but if you're like, oh yeah, that's actually funny.
And if
he finds out his hero has died.
Wasn't this around the same time too that they had like the PRMC stuff with Tipper Gore and whatnot?
Yeah, and they had the Zappa and Dee Snider and John Denver of all people were all testifying in front of Congress about the dangerousness of rock music and lyrics and censorship and all that.
Speaking of Wolfman Jack, if you want to actually watch a much better Halloween movie, The Midnight Hour is also available on YouTube.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Motel Hell.
Motel Hell's good too.
It is, but Midnight Hour might be the perfect Halloween movie to watch on Halloween. It is just that movie bleeds the holiday.
Yes, it does. It does indeed.
Sam, have you seen it?
Have not.
Oh, you have to see it.
You should, Sam. You should.
And it'll never get another physical release, so you just watch it on YouTube.
Yeah. Why is he so pissed off? Why are you ruining all of your cool heavy metal shit? I know your idol died, dude.
His favorite metal hero died.
I understand, but they're like, don't destroy your shit. Destroy other people's shit.
He's having his just leave Britney alone moment.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Sammy Kerr was the only thing that kept him sane.
Yeah.
Exactly. And now Sammy Kerr's gone.
Yeah, because he's an embattled youth that gets along with nobody and only has one friend, and Sammy Kerr was like his hero, and without him it's going to make it harder to deal with life, right? So he's going through his little moment.
I do give this film massive credit for portraying those of us who were really into music, whether it was heavy metal or punk rock or whatever, kind of realistically, because we were kind of outcasts for liking it as much as we did, making it so cultural for us. I mean, I don't see myself necessarily in this kid, but I definitely understand, like, normally when you saw like the metal kid in a movie, he was some douchebag that was bullying the other kids. And here it's kind of the reverse. And I think that's way more accurate, to be honest.
As somebody that was there, yeah, it is.
There is Gene Simmons.
Looking bad because he's Gene Simmons.
Mike, were you actually a member of the KISS Army?
No.
Okay. You were not one of the knights in Satan's service?
No, fan clubs and stuff like that just didn't interest me.
Not your thing, huh?
Nah.
He just liked hanging around at the hotels where they were after the show with a gun in his pocket. And a copy of Catcher in the Rye.
Oh my god.
Again, this sounds more like a tale from your life, Lauren. Don't get the
Yeah,
bald
I'm
head confused.
That would have been a proud moment in my life.
Oh no.
If I'd had a book on me, sure as hell wouldn't have been Catcher in the Rye.
Everyone needs a good highlighted copy of Catcher in the Rye.
Oh, his hair.
No matter what happens, it's an excuse later. This is a pretty subdued performance from Simmons, actually. Like
Yeah.
you see the rest of his filmography. This is pretty
Yeah.
reasonable.
I do love him in what's the one with Tom Selleck? He's the bad guy in it.
Oh, the robot movie.
Yeah. What's that
Runaway?
movie called? Yeah, Runaway. Yeah. I like that movie.
Well, Wanted Dead or
Nothing
Alive,
from-
right?
Just for Gene Simmons.
What was that one movie he did, Too Young to Die? Where he played the bad guy, but it was a cross-dressing bad guy. And really
Yeah.
chewed the scenery like, oh my God. I mean,
And
he went for it, like went for it. So it's worth watching just for that performance, but oh wow.
He's not even the most flamboyant thing about that movie, though.
That's hard to believe.
Yeah.
Because you just see a couple clips of him doing his thing on YouTube and you would be like, that's tame in comparison to the rest of the film.
There's homoerotic gymnastics in that movie. Just saying.
First,
And the stream ends.
when Ragman was freaking out over Sammy Kerr dying, that made me remember the day I was watching MTV and they announced that Kurt Cobain had committed suicide. And I remember that being a very
Yeah, the streets were like lined with people having candlelight vigils and crying and swaying back and forth and leaving, letters and notes at his property where he died. And yeah, it was so I mean, maybe it looks silly for one guy to tear up his posters because his favorite rock star died, but when Kurt Cobain died, I mean, that was a big deal. I remember that.
That was like that was like just a month long, just a month of mourning on all day, every day on MTV, all about Kurt Cobain and the vigils and
I remember being immediately ostracized in 8th grade because one of my classmates asked me, was like testing me, and she was like, "How did Kurt Cobain die?" I'm like, "He killed himself." And she's like, "Nope."
Yeah, there you go.
Well, technically, Courtney had him killed. Technically.
Sure. 'Cause that
Probably.
makes complete sense because his entire catalog of music he was writing wasn't a clear call for help.
True.
You just had that's like saying that every satanic band were truly Satanists in the 80s. Come on.
Does everyone remember in the early 90s when Stryper tried to get away from their Christian image and put out an album called Against the Law where they were flirting with the idea that they had gone kind of maybe satanic?
Oh my God. No, I don't remember
I don't
that.
remember that.
It's I mean, they wouldn't double down on it, but if you look at that image they were going for that record, you're like, guys,
Well,
I don't know.
I know. I do remember it. It was more of a prison image. Instead of the yellow and black, they had like the white and black stripes, like they were in prison.
So
to go with the whole against the law type title, but you can read into it however you want to.
They were trying to be hard.
Well, they were, but no, I mean, I was selling music at the time. We got the press booklet. I mean, it was like, if that album had taken off, they were going to go completely another direction. It was funny. The album didn't sell, so it didn't matter. And then the band kind of, started to collapse. So
Well, they were another band before Stryper, before they adopted the Stryper aesthetic, like Rock's Ragtime or some kind of thing. It was like a glam thing in LA.
yeah, Enigma Records just that Cornerstone label, my favorite label of all time. Like, got them in the corner and got them out there like no one else. I mean, I don't think a traditional major label could have done for them what Enigma did at that point, because it was so not what was happening.
I know a lot of people, talk crap about them because they're Stryper. Well, if you're allowed to sing about whatever you want to sing about, then they get their shot at singing about whatever they want to sing about too. And if you don't like it, that's fine. I mean, okay, so they're not talking about violating the corpses of dead infants, but they have their own lyrics. And if you don't agree with them, that's fine. But they were pretty talented. They had some kick-ass guitar tones, especially on the album To Hell with the Devil. There's Oz Fox can play. So, I mean, from a musical standpoint, I thought they stood ground with everybody. Whether or not you like their lyrics, again, if you prefer Slayer, that's fine. Listen to Slayer. But, there's an alternative usually everywhere, right? They're equal but opposite. So I thought they got way too much crap for what they were doing. And people, I mean, just in the same way that non-metalheads would allow Slayer lyrics to not, to keep them away from listening to Slayer music. Oh, they have these horrible devil lyrics in there, and they're just scary people. I'm not listening to that devil stuff, but the music's good. No matter what you think about Slayer's lyrics, I really enjoyed their first 3 or 4 records. I thought they were great. But that Stryper was good too. Why can't you like both? I mean, music is music. But, yeah, whatever. I guess it's just easier to make fun of it when everybody will go, "Yeah, I know what you mean."
I just make fun of it because I don't like Stryper.
What were some of your favorite hair metal bands, Lauren?
Well, I listened to a ton of it when it was happening. And anyone who was alive during the period, if you say you didn't listen to hair metal, you're full of shit. Okay, period.
It was everywhere.
You couldn't, for 6 years, you couldn't not listen to hair metal. Okay. Not much of it has aged well for me. I will say I think Appetite for Destruction remains one of the best rock records, period. And I think it's the only record from that time period that holds up like that. You put on any track from Appetite for Destruction and it just plays.
Yeah.
I'm not a big Guns N' Roses fan, though. That's the irony of me saying that, because I don't like anything they did afterwards at all. Some people say, "Oh, I like songs here or there." No, they lost everything that made that album special. Other than that, I will say that as a Runaways fan, I have a guilty pleasure for like the Lita Ford solo albums before the self-titled record. So Out for Blood and but no, I mean, to be honest with you, the college rock I was listening to at the time, which is what in a few years we'd call alternative, really that stuff has endured much better for me. I appreciate it all, though. I love music, period. People who create, no matter what your art is, you're the good guys. The bad guys are the people who want people to shut up.
Wait. Are you saying Uwe Boll is a good guy? Are you saying Scott Stapp is a good guy?
I am.
Are you saying the guy from Nickelback is a good guy?
I'm not going to listen to it, but sure, yes. I just want to point out that quote unquote prank at the pool was outright a murder attempt.
That was this. Yes.
Yeah, and her like, how could you be so upset? They're just messing around. They fucking literally tried to kill me. If you hadn't have jumped in and pulled me out, I would be dead. Well, what do you mean? Don't be so upset. Yeah, that was kind of funny how she just looked at him like he was overreacting.
Okay, did anybody actually try to play a record backwards to see if there were hidden messages or anything back in the day?
I played the soundtrack backwards.
Did you hear any
well on the song Heft there is the same backwards message that's in the film.
Okay.
Which is the end of side 1, which unfortunately, if you're gonna play your records backwards, kids, make it an early track because you will destroy your fucking records and the needle.
There's a joke about that in the film, actually. It's a marketing technique to get dumbasses to buy more records. I don't know. I think you can. When I was in a band, we had tape recorders and stuff. We could record things forward and listen to them backwards. And there's a lot of words that are very similar, backwards and forwards. So you're bound to hear a forward word every once in a while, just because the way the language is structured. But most of it was just Easter eggs. See if they find it.
Right. Dave says he played Venom backwards. Venom put some subliminal stuff in those records.
And by doing that, it probably sounded better. Not a huge fan of Venom.
Probably made more sense anyway.
Yeah.
Was
You're talking
anyone
hair
ever
metal, yeah.
openly ostracized for being a metalhead back in the day?
I was wrestling and
Well, they were,
that's what I was ostracized for.
Kind of like the Sith. There was never, there's always at least two. There were cliques. You had your athletes, your jocks. You had your nerds. You had your what they called the hoods, which were normally like the dope smokers and the heavy metal guys that hung out together. So they were like little cliques that everybody, little groups of people that, safety in numbers type of thing at that age. I was weird. I could hang out with anybody. I liked hanging out with the nerds because I always got better grades. but I was kind of athletic, so I could play some sports and hang out with the jocks. But I was kind of normal, so I could just have a normal conversation with people, or I could smoke weed and listen to music. I mean, I don't know, utilitarian. I was a little bit of everything, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, I was ostracized from all corners because the whole thing is like, yes, I listened to some metal because it was what was big at the time and available to record stores. I didn't have record stores. I had department stores that sold records they weren't going to carry a lot of the stuff I necessarily wanted to get my hands on. So, but at the same point, I was going to City Gardens and Airport Music Hall and places and seeing punk bands on every weekend. So and that was not kind of cool to them. So the conversations would come and go. I had a few handful of close friends, but in general, I was not a real popular kid. Big surprise, huh?
If only you'd had hair like Doug Savant here.
I had better hair than that.
It's true. You got to dig out that picture, man.
What about you, Susan? What kind of were you into any 80s hair metal back in the day?
I don't know. I mean, Kiss when they wore makeup. I mean, kind of Motley Crue, but kind of not. I was just kind of someone that as a kid, I listened to literally everything from classical music to black metal. I mean, it did not matter the genre to me. I thought it was good, I liked it. So I just kind of liked a little bit here and there. Like it might be an individual song, but I was never really into specific bands per se. It would kind of be more, I mean, as far as hair bands, I guess you could say. I was never into a specific hair band or anything. I was kind of into a little bit more different as far as the whole band. I don't know. As certain songs, yeah, but I was never, I don't know. And I was bullied too. I was bullied so bad.
Oh yeah, hold on a second.
I did not even want to go. Oh my God,
look
yes.
at that hair. My God.
Yeah.
Look at that hair. Jeez, oh Pete.
Can't get the glare off of screen.
We could see that hair though. You could see that hair a mile away.
So that was after they doused me because it was all straight up and they weren't allowing that.
Oh, no wonder. Okay, now it makes sense.
So I can see if I can find a photo of that. But in my graduation photos, it's like it's ridiculous. It's just this halo of hair.
Oh, cool.
Did you win Best in Show?
I almost got kicked out of graduation ceremony, if that's what you're asking.
Sure, that'll work.
Yeah.
See, that's the kind of thing you wear as a badge of honor. You're like, you know what? Right there.
I'm not hiding it.
Okay, you guys, I'm sorry. I am truly problematic today. I don't know. I'm going to blame it on the universe. I don't know, but somebody tried to call me and it totally stopped the movie. So if anybody can give me...
I am at 25 minutes.
Yep.
Right on the dot.
25.
We still have like a day of a Mercury retrograde left, so makes sense.
See, okay.
It's the universe.
Yeah, I believe in that, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But I know a lot of people are like, no, Susan. So whatever, I'm blaming it on whatever anybody believes in. It's just not my fault. That's where we're at.
Oh no, I'm a Virgo. Mercury's my ruling planet. Everything gets fucked up.
You talk about hair metal from the 80s. I know people look down on it as being pop metal or pop music or just bad in general. But, Metallica and that heavy stuff didn't really start coming in until 83, 84 and didn't really start building up popularity until the late 80s.
I love Metallica's Black album, but that's just because that was the first one that I was really...
Kill 'Em All came out in 83, and then my favorite one came out in 84, and then it was Master of Puppets, which is probably the one that broke them through.
Yeah,
that
definitely.
was when they really start. So, about 86 was really when Megadeth put out Peace Sells, But Who's Buying, and the heavier stuff started, coming to the top. So in 83, Quiet Riot was heavy. Motley Crue was kind of heavy. Y&T, Ozzy Osbourne, I mean, that was just Rat when they came out in 84 with the Out of the Cellar. I mean, that was still pretty edgy, pretty heavy. It wasn't like the pop princess stuff that people seem to think of it as now. I mean, it was actually kind of gritty and guttural, especially Rat. I've always liked Rat. Dawkins, it was also the age of the guitar player, thanks to Eddie Van Halen, who Van Halen kind of kicked all that off in L.A. If you want to blame somebody for hair metal, well, it's Van Halen. But it was all an extension of them, and that's why Ozzy got Randy to be in the band, because Van Halen had opened for Black Sabbath. He's like, I got to get me one of them. So he goes to L.A. and looks for a guitar player, and he finds Randy Rhoads. And so without that music, we wouldn't have a lot of other music. And it was, for the time, it was just part of the time. Fastway was great. Of course, AC/DC was still doing good stuff. Motorhead was a little past their peak, but really for me, I was still really into Motorhead. I didn't understand. I did have friends that were like all the heavy stuff. How can you listen to that girl metal stuff? Yeah. I was like, I like it, and it's a bonus that the chicks like it too. What can I tell you? Why do you want to hang out with dudes all the time? I don't get it. But we'd have these conversations. But it was all good to me. I don't know. To me, the 80s. With all the hairspray and stuff that they make fun of, everything kind of repeats itself. Well, there was an early movement in the 70s with Slade and David Bowie and the New York Dolls. They were just emulating those guys plus Aerosmith, and they kind of put a new spin on it. So I don't know.
I love Aerosmith.
Because what do I know? Everybody says the Beatles is the greatest band that ever existed, and I disagree.
For me, the 80s was defined by 2 cassette tapes, Appetite for Destruction and Dr. Feelgood.
No.
For me, it would be Back in Black and Appetite for Destruction.
I'm going to side with Mike on this.
I literally played those until they stopped. I played them and rewound them so much that they just stopped, like the spool or something. It just stopped. They just stopped working.
I mean, Back in Black is the reason I play guitar. I was a fan of AC/DC before that because I had heard Highway to Hell, but when Back in Black came out, it was over. That was like, okay, I'd already been listening to Ted Nugent and Kiss and Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin and all that kind of stuff, but I don't know what it was about Angus and the way they recorded the guitars and the music itself, but it was just something about that rawness that really drew me in.
You see, that I think Mike, that might be where I can't. I just voted for you on the Piz versus Mike battle for the cassettes of the 80s, but that's where I can't level myself to you though, because like I was listening to stuff like the Stooges and the MC5, and that stuff is way rawer, and so it's like I listened to a lot of hair metal at the time, and I liked a lot of hair metal at the time, but to me, there was always this kind of like extension of garage rock that had in the 70s like blossomed. And then you had things like the Pixies that were going on, which was very important to me. So I think I just kind of wish that both sides could come together and kind of accept each other. Because I got to tell you, it's not just one side or the other that is to blame here. I remember metalheads like absolutely picking on alternative kids. They call them alternative kids because it was college rock at the time, but it definitely happened too. So, I mean, when the backlash comes, it's easy to cry that it all had to get out the door because Nirvana had walked through, but it was almost like revenge.
I remember going to parties and somebody would be playing U2, and before you know it, there'd be like Judas Priest playing.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. The music just got a lot better, didn't it?
Well, in the case of U2, you're right, but that's not the point.
But I do remember the alternative stuff, and the MC5 and the Stooges, also with the, led to the Ramones, which is one of my favorite bands of all time. I also like, the Sex Pistols. A lot of people, no matter what they think about that band, manufactured or not, that's a good record. I like the record. It's got good
an amazing
energy.
record.
It's awesome. And I like the Misfits. I like the Dead Kennedys, and I played a show with the Meatmen and the Vandals.
That's awesome.
So I'm a punk rock guy myself, but I like everything, and I don't understand why you can't like everything. Now maybe the Cure missed me, because maybe just on Friday I'm not in love. I don't know.
or maybe I really love cats, but I don't love cats.
And the Pixies are another one. Was it Black Frank or
Frank
Black or whatever his name was? That stuff was. It just didn't appeal to me. I don't know, but it didn't bother me that it existed. It just wasn't.
Listen. I love the Cure. There's, I think, did the Cure ever write a bad song? Honestly, no.
Yes.
No.
Did they write a good song?
Oh,
I
come
haven't
on.
heard one.
Come on. Listen to Letters to Elise. All right. If it doesn't break your heart, you ain't got one.
Well, right? you listen to it for me, and you enjoy it twice as much. I did like the Violent Femmes, though. I thought they were very entertaining, and I got to see them twice in concert.
Yeah.
Mike, did you ever get what you want? Lord knows it'd be the first time.
Piz, did you ever kill an Arab?
I'm not.
Talk about a song that hasn't aged well, huh?
I'm not familiar with that reference.
Sam and I are just here smiling and trying not to get in trouble.
I'm just like sitting here like the last person in Russian roulette. I'll just keep passing me by. I hope somebody blows their brains out, and don't let it be me.
There's like we'll just let the mentally defective folks have their conversation, and hopefully nobody will get hurt.
Yeah, we're holding the doors. Sam and I are holding the doors open. You guys are just walking through it.
My lack of music knowledge is embarrassing, and my taste is probably worse.
My taste is so all over the map that I'm just like, well, yeah, I mean, yeah, like if you say it, and I also think that genres are very subjective. Like when you mentioned Aerosmith, like a lot of people would just say that's just rock and it's not metal. And you know what I mean? Like there's always so many people want to just classify and put things in little boxes, and I was never that way, and I used to get made fun of for it because I didn't like whatever was popular. I liked all this other stuff surrounding it. I was like, yeah, I'm not like, I don't need to hear a boy band, I want to hear this, and
but as a horror movie fan back in the 80s, you his mom's looking at all his album covers. How could you not want to listen to those when you look at the album covers? I mean, if you're a horror movie fan, you're like, Impaler, there's blood all over the place. I got to hear this.
Impaler.
So it was like the music version of horror films, really. A lot of that really dark stuff.
Okay, and while you mentioned this, the mom, why does she look familiar? Was she in another horror movie that I've seen her in or something? She looks familiar from another movie or something.
She lives next door to you.
That could be it.
It could be. I don't know. That is weird being in LA for a long time. I will think, do I know this person because I worked with them, because I live near them, because I was someplace that they were, or because they're on TV, or because they're in the movies? Like, I just don't know. It's like a confusing situation, because even if I remember them from TV or a movie, it may be because I ran into them at, Trader Joe's or something. It's just really strange.
You know what's weird about this movie? How's that for a transition? We're a half hour into the film, and it hasn't gotten to anything that people remember from the film.
Exactly.
It's all this kind of like prototype Heathers, but not nearly as good type stuff up to this point. And it's about to actually become the movie that we remember it.
Right. But we have to establish that he's a loner, he's an outsider, he's mercilessly picked on. The only thing that he had any faith in is now gone. But he's about to communicate with Sammy Kerr from beyond the grave now.
Well, we had to get past the two stressors, of course. One was the death of Sammy Kerr that set the ball rolling for his mental and emotional downfall. And then, of course, was the weights in the backpack in the pool incident where he almost died, which pushed him farther over the edge. And now we're seeing the result of his mental decline, where he embraces because apparently his rock star friend or buddy or whatever he was actually was a Satanist that actually had like a hotline to the Red Man himself. And he's able to possess this tape, and all bad things happen when the tape is played. So he starts giving out copies to all of his
don't give your bullies
admirers.
mixtapes. That's not going to come across the right way.
Yeah. I know you just kicked my ass yesterday in shop class, but here's a mixtape. Can we be friends now?
Unless you're completely punking them as a peace offering, and it's like the Sugar Cube's second album, which no one likes. Sorry, it was a Bajork joke that no one's going to get.
Wait, who?
So there he doesn't look like a Midwestern metalhead. He looks like more like somebody I would imagine hanging out at CBGB's.
He looks like I don't know what he looks like. It's like a combination of like he's going to go to a cardio class and maybe stop at the record store on the way home.
The wardrobes department, that's their idea of what a Midwestern metalhead would look like in high school in 1986, because that's not reality.
Hey, Piz, I sure hope this movie gets rapey all of a sudden.
What?
That would be lovely.
Yeah.
We've got Dead Pit Radio in the chat. How's it going, Wes? Did you guys hear that Vinegar Syndrome was releasing Trick or Treat in 4K? No, wait, my bad. They're releasing a bunch of bullshit nobody wants.
No.
Wait.
Well done, Dead Pit. Good.
You got me
That got me for a second. I got excited and then I immediately got disappointed.
Well,
Wait.
I'm
Daily Ghost, he cannot be serious about liking the second Sugar Cubes album.
Wait,
he's the only one that
the Sugar Cubes are an actual band.
They were the band that Bjork came from.
Yeah,
and the first album, the one with the lime green cover, is brilliant. And they never put out anything good again. But the second album, which has a single called Regina, which everyone got excited because that's pretty good. But the rest of the album is dog shit.
Oh, I didn't even know. Oops, I failed.
I will pick up Ticks on 4K eventually because it's Ticks and it's 4K. So
I don't even know what the producers were thinking with this scene.
Well, it works so well in Evil Dead.
Yeah, but there's like kind of like this free spirited, like you won't believe how crazy this movie's gonna get type of thing going on. Here it's just like we wanted to violate this actress.
Did anybody back in the day ever see those like those pieces on religious networks where they're talking about all the different bands that sold their soul to the devil and that they're satanic and this and that and the other? Oh, they used to play those all the time. I used to love them too, because I remember thinking, even as a kid, like, wait a minute, if all these bands sold their soul to the devil, why do most of them still suck? They sold their soul for nothing. They still suck. You know what I mean? Like, you got ripped off.
And that makes me think of Jennifer's Body. That's a pretty cult classic movie now.
I don't know, Lauren, we're talking about Satanism and sexual perversity and all different kinds of things. So, I mean, is the devil, you expect him to be PG-13 and be like, oh, I can't do that. That would be inappropriate.
Listen, I love my sleeves. Don't get me wrong. This just looks like a bad music video rape. I don't know what to call this.
That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is, you know,
I'm more disturbed by the blue satin. The blue
That is-
satin is just, I don't know.
it's a little disturbing.
That looks more 70s to me with the blue
Yeah,
satin. I mean, if I
exactly.
just saw just this scene, I would think it's more a 70s movie than an 80s
Region
movie.
free, the lingerie discussion.
I mean,
Someone
and
needs to
I'm not
clip
seeing
that out for
Victoria's
a
Secret
video.
label, so
It was the 80s. This kind of thing went on all the time, and it wouldn't fly today. But
I thought the
know.
payoff was more funny than horrifying anyway, but
yeah, it just like
Uh,
awkwardly funny. Like, okay, where are we going with this? What's your point?
that's some really good music she's listening to. Notice how we all are silent now.
This isn't awkward at all.
I wonder how many takes they had to do. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just, you know,
that would
how many
have
unnecessary
sucked.
takes.
Don't worry, it'll be a closed set.
I promise, Nikki, it will be tasteful.
There he is.
That's gonna be hard to explain.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Damn kids and heavy metal.
But where's the monster? Because clearly it had a corporeal form. Is
You're
it just
asking
no?
too
Just
many
kidding.
questions. You're
I
asking
know.
too many.
I am asking for too much logic. I was like, so is it running amok?
This movie was not prepared to give you what you need.
Kind of like when you watch a movie with voodoo in it, you just kind of got to go with it.
Just we got to
You
roll
know,
the punches.
It's like,
Because,
you know, so it was some kind of satanic black magic sex demon ritual thing. Whatever.
But here comes
Next
us,
scene.
like, state your source.
If it doesn't have a footnote, then it doesn't happen.
And there's Ozzy.
There's Ozzy.
I think I'm running ahead of you guys somehow, so I'm going to pause for a few seconds because I'm way beyond Ozzy at this point.
I was just like 3 seconds behind. So I'm not gonna.
That's a good record. Do It Like a Dog was a good record. We did talk about the Fastway soundtrack. CK, yes, we did. A lot of love for the Fastway soundtrack here.
I would say I love the soundtrack more than I love the movie.
Now, talk about how many takes they had to do. I wonder how many takes they had to do for Ozzy's little scene there. Sharon, bring the cocaine. I understand Ozzy's actually not doing very well.
Oh no.
Drugs will do that.
Well, I mean,
And just age.
considering the amount of drugs he's taken over the years, I mean, the fact that he's alive now is something.
I think
Did
that
you
about
say
Stephen
white
King.
power or wine power? And
Wine power.
What copy am I watching?
This is the German release we're watching.
This
here.
movie just went in a different direction than I remember. I don't remember Sammy Kerr curb stomping anyone.
Oh Lord.
Dan said Ozzy hasn't been doing well for 30 years.
Well, but I mean, I think I heard he's really not doing well here recently. So.
Man. But I mean, it really is true when you hear him talk about the amount of drugs, the variety of drugs, mixing alcohol, mixing all these different things together. Like, it's amazing that he didn't just OD or have like a bad combo and die somewhere along the way.
Are we sure he didn't sell his soul to the devil to not die?
But
Doesn't
Keith
Bob
Richards is still out on the
Doesn't
road,
Bob Dylan
purring
say
along,
that?
just like nothing ever happened. Oh, we lost another one.
Keith Richards, yeah. Yeah.
Hit it, Mick. You know, he's totally oblivious to everybody dropping that. If anybody's done, you know, Keith Richards, man, he's like the when he dies, everybody's going to be surprised.
Well, they took Keith Richards, Ozzy Osbourne. I forget who the third one was. It was all over the news, like maybe 5 years ago, that they had taken all of their DNA. They had all agreed to do blood work to figure out how they were still alive after everything they'd put their bodies through.
Oh shit! We don't need a Jurassic World with these being cloned. Burn those blood samples like it's
geriatric
right
park,
now.
sure.
That's how the zombie apocalypse begins, right
It
there.
really is. They already shamble like it's happening.
But like for real though, Keith Richards has to be what, 80 in his like 80, 88. You know, I mean, like for real,
I think he's 80, but I don't think he's 88.
I mean, well, geez.
He's 77. I just Googled it.
Really? See, I thought it.
Ooh.
I thought he was older than that too.
Well, when you eat infants every few years, you get additional years. This is the man who admitted to snorting his father's ashes. So.
Snorting his
he did what?
He snorted his father's ashes.
Yeah.
For real.
He mixed it with some blood.
That was not a joke.
No,
what
he
is
really
wrong
did.
with people? Oh God.
Well, some people snort Parmesan cheese. It happens.
Well, you know, there's an entire like culture inside this country that eat a very small part of their departed pets, right?
What?
Oh, yeah. Oh no, I'm not. Oh.
Oh no, YouTube will ban us, Lauren. La 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 la.
Wait, what about all those people that eat the
They're going to ban us
for
the Biden joke in the intro, not for that.
The people that do what, Sam?
Some people like to eat the placentas from their kids,
Yeah.
and I'm like, no, I'm good.
I have 4-legged children.
It's like a wedding cake. You keep it in the refrigerator for a year, and then.
You know what? If I was gonna eat placenta, I would want to dry it like jerky. Like placenta jerky is something I
already kind of looks like it, right? Yeah.
That'd be a good on the road snack. A lot of vitamins and nutrients.
I always thought it was
maybe like some teriyaki placenta. I think that'd be tasty.
I like teriyaki jerky. It's just that everybody has teriyaki jerky. You know, maybe do honey garlic.
Okay. I'm down with that.
So, serious question: outside of death metal, have any band but Live ever used the word placenta in a song?
Cannibal Corpse, I'm sure, has to have used.
Well, outside death metal.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I missed that. Yeah.
Use the word placenta in a song.
It's just gonna come up. Lightning crashes every time.
A list of lyrics, artists, and songs that contain the term placenta. Here I come. All right, let's see. And it's going to be not in English. Okay.
A bunch of Japanese bands.
A group called Call Me Kubrick, and Call with a K, has a song called Say Anything. And the lyric in that is, "It's why I am puking out placenta." Okay, yeah. No, I'm not seeing any recognizable band names on here.
I'm just curious about how they're preparing the placenta first before they're puking it. You got to cook that all the way through.
This is the pull clip from this episode, the placenta conversation.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right after the lingerie episode, we're good.
And then put the big, censored graphic across it, but then every platform will remove it because they're like, censored? No, we didn't create that graphic to use for anything. I'm sorry, Instagram did that to somebody. It's the stupidest thing. It's so
Look,
stupid.
it's my right to eat placenta. Okay.
I can. Chucky's going to be taking over for me while I go puke. Okay, sorry. Right.
Don't be a placentaphobe. All right.
Okay. Guys, let me know if Chucky
Sam,
knows it.
quick. I need 2 words that rhyme with placenta.
Magenta. I'm trying to think of the other one.
Pay the renta? Wait, what? No, never mind. Sorry.
I don't know. I kind of like pay the renta.
That's the name of the episode now. Region free. Pay the renta.
Nice.
Okay, and I'm sorry. This was after Nightmare on Elm Street, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
But the coming that's very much like Freddy coming through the wall.
We
It's
like
like
to
Lauren
do
was saying,
the
they were trying to
stretchy
create their
things,
own
stretchy
version
hands.
of that type
Yeah.
of character.
They desperately wanted. There was so many attempts in the late '80s to create a new franchise horror character, because they're like before Freddy, it had happened by mistake, by accident, right? But everyone saw dollar signs in Freddy like they'd never seen before, so it became everyone wanted to make that happen.
Really, in '86, combining heavy metal and horror in this way wasn't a bad idea.
Yeah.
It was actually quite. It was the two genres kind of went together. It's like everybody I knew listened to heavy metal. They liked horror movies. Everybody that liked horror movies listened to heavy metal. So it was kind of.
Yeah, but the real problem with this movie for hitting a mainstream audience, which it did, and it did not do well on release, was that what we talked about before, though, the outsider thing. Like, this appealed to people who were really into music, who were outsiders, but that's not the mainstream.
Yeah.
Right, it self-limited itself with its viewpoint. If this film had taken more of like the Black Roses approach, but if the Black Roses had been a good film, which I know that's a stretch, it probably could have done better commercially. Because I don't think unless you're someone like Mike or I or all of our viewership, who were kind of ostracized and outside the popular kids circle, I don't think you can really relate to this.
I think they were looking at album sales. Rat sold like 3 million copies of Out of the Cellar. Motley Crue sold like 2 or 3 million copies of Shout at the Devil. Judas Priest was going platinum. A lot of these type of bands were platinum acts selling millions of records. So I think they were trying to tap into that audience. Whoever, because there's not two kids in one school buying all the records. There's
right.
So they figure, well, if we could get the fans of this band to like this movie, well, that's a million people. That's a million copies, right?
Yeah.
That's some. We'll make our budget back if we can just tap into that audience alone. And if we happen to get a larger audience, that's even better. Maybe we have a franchise. I could kind of see the marketing behind this because these acts nobody sells millions of records anymore. That's just not the way the business is done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But back then you had multi-platinum. Even Kiss was still selling millions of records back in the 80s.
I mean, do you know how hard it is to play an MP3 backwards? It's not easy.
You have Audacity, you push one button.
Yep, I was gonna say that.
Load it into your software and hit reverse. Oh, nice.
Just doesn't have the same feeling.
No, it just doesn't. No. I see Mike is here. The real Fifth Beatle. How's it going, man?
I always liked the set for his bedroom. I thought that was cool. As a teenager, I thought that was
You
cool.
guys have a cool bedroom. Yeah.
I think too, like I remember this movie looking better than it looks. So when I saw it in the theater, I thought this was a good looking film. Now looking at it, it kind of has television quality all over it.
I rather like the quality. I know it's my first time seeing it in full, but
I don't
know.
consider
There's something just really comfortable about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's comfort food. It's mac and cheese. To me, it's
Yeah,
not
exactly.
4K material. It's missing the point putting it out in 4K.
Right.
I don't know. I'm one of those people that, as great as I think 4K is, there is nothing more comforting and warm and fuzzy to me than some analog graininess or what. I don't know. I kind of like that vibe, as long as it's not, some movies now they want to, recreate that, and it just doesn't translate. As long as they're not trying too hard, or if it's something that was organically from that period, I don't know, I gravitate toward it. It's just like Sam said, it's just like comforting to me for some reason. I just get a very warm, fuzzy vibe while I'm watching it.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I feel that.
I'm not talking about the tech credits necessarily. I'm talking about it. I mean, the way this film is staged, the way the scenes are.
Oh, gotcha.
assembled. It's very utilitarian. It's not really very filmic at all.
Well, this was Charles Martin Smith's first directing credit, I believe. And you could kind of tell, but there's some nice cinematography. There's some nice panning shots. I mean, some of the interior dialogue scenes definitely seem TV showish. I could kind of see that, but there are other scenes like the bedroom set where the thing was going crazy and there was some special effects. I thought that was pretty well done. The lighting kind of helped out. I don't know how exciting you could make it having a kid ride by the camera on a bike, but that looked pretty good.
I like how he was wearing like dark colors, but it's broad daylight.
Yeah, kind of. I know what you mean. That almost what the kind of feeling that like a Lifetime movie kind of
sterile,
for me.
generic.
It's kind of that like TV movie feel. Yeah.
It comes to life later, but I mean,
I think these scenes are the ones that really suffer the most from that type of look and feel. The daytime interior shots.
Yeah.
I think even the school stuff in the beginning is pretty flat. If you look at other films in the period that were high school movies, they're pretty dynamic compared to this. But whatever, I'm not going to bash the hell out of the movie. I do like this movie. I don't think it's it's not a favorite. You know.
Well, we had one of those stereos, 8-track record. Probably has a cassette up in the top there. Yeah.
I think I still have one.
So what, I used to listen to Back in Black on with the headphones, sitting in front of the stereo looking at the record sleeve.
I mean, who makes their chocolate milk like that?
This guy.
I do every day. No,
do you really? Okay. Some people prefer to do it that way, or just they say it's better than what you get in the jug. You know,
just take some Hershey syrup, dump it in some milk, take a fork. There you go.
Yep.
A fork.
Well, it's like an old school way of
selected a fork instead of a spoon.
Because it doesn't clump that way.
Exactly. It's like a mini whisk.
Exactly. Yes.
And now we're in full let's try and be Freddy mode.
But he can only appear if you play the tape. That's like his little universe rule. Like,
which I'm sure the sequel would have broken immediately.
Yeah, and I know what you mean, Lauren, because even in this type of scene, if you take Nightmare on Elm Street, which was within a couple of years of this, there's an entirely different feeling and atmosphere from the scene.
Wow. Just, yeah. I think I'd be more intimidated, but like, I think I'd get the whole try to go for the Freddy vibe, but it's just Sammy Kerr looks like Sensational Sherry and Dr. Frankenfurter had a baby.
Yes.
And I'm not opposed to it. I just don't think it works with the Freddy vibe.
I think he's dressed up like Vince Neil from Motley Crue around the Shout at the Devil era. I think that's like the arm chains with the leather straps on his arms. I think that was, he must have stole that out of Vince Neil's closet when he wasn't looking. Kind of get a little bit of a Shocker vibe.
I don't know how much room there was still left in Vince Neil's closet.
Well, tubs full of stage gear probably, and who knows? I don't want to know what else.
Yeah, I was going to say definitely a little bit of Shocker, a little Shocker vibe here.
I love Shocker.
I like this movie more than I like Shocker. That's for damn sure.
Shocker had a great soundtrack too.
Shocker is a piece of shit film.
That is a lie.
That is so true.
Shocker's a hot mess in all the best ways. Shocker is the party goblin that you want to hang out with.
Yes, the party goblin. I love it.
Yes.
Well, Mitch Pileggi is awesome in that flick. I mean,
Mitch Pileggi is awesome in everything he does, but that movie's a freaking mess.
It's watchable just for him, though. I watch Shocker just because of Mitch Pileggi. I mean, he's great.
And again, that was another attempt to try and get another Freddy onto the market.
Closer to the mark than the Sammy Kerr.
Yeah, but Max Jenke and Horror Show is a much better attempt. It's just that movie kind of fell apart. It was just sad because there's so much good work in that movie.
I keep forgetting this movie is set around Halloween. It just, and it's called Trick or Treat, but it's just, I was just so steeped in the whole satanic panic thing and all the metal, and I'm just sort of like, I can't even, I completely forget when the setting is.
Yeah. If you think this is bad, wait for the Halloween Kills debate show.
Oh,
I'm
Lord.
so ready.
That show's gonna be brutal.
No,
brutal. I can't wait.
Sign me
Gotta
up.
bring the burns.
Sign me up. I'm ready.
I don't think anyone wants me there, so I'm not showing up. That's all.
No, come on. You've got to be there.
Yes.
You've got to be there. Got to be there.
Absolutely.
Well, so Mike, it's okay if we argue this episode because we're gonna need each other. If history proves any guide,
I'm gonna put money on the table right now. Lauren, you'll give it at least a B-. Mike, I think you're gonna love it. I think you're gonna love it, Mike.
IGN has called it the Empire Strikes Back of Halloween films.
I really liked Empire.
Shit, they just gave away the ending by saying it.
I love Empire Strikes Back. Okay, but Piz, what do you think about me and Sam? What do you think? What do you think we're gonna think?
Who could wait? I think the answer to the question is who would win in a fight?
What?
No, I meant what does Piz think that I will think of Halloween Kills and Sam will think of Halloween Kills? Because he made his bets on you guys. Oh wait.
Susan, I'm gonna say you will give it a B+. Sam, I'm gonna say you will give it a C+.
I don't know. It'll be interesting to find out, though.
Yeah.
We'll see if we prove you right.
He's already way off the mark with me and Mike, so.
He was comedically going in the other direction.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go see it, tell everybody on Twitter, and just do caps lock movie of the year.
Oh, shit.
You'll get a lot of followers.
I know.
That's what it's all about.
That's the social media version of selling your soul.
What's up, Joe Reese? How are you doing? I'll be optimistic and say Lauren gives it a C-, says Dan.
I just want to have fun with it. That's all I care about.
I do too. I just
Same.
want to have fun.
I'm kind of going against my will. I'm not going to lie on that. I don't want to reward people to do, because my ticket purchase will be like a reward for making this film, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to encourage bad behavior. Damn it!
You might be able to get a free trial of Peacock though.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, there is. It's a 30-day. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm waiting until
Mike.
in
I'm
2
going
or
to the
3 more
drive-in.
days.
If I'm going to see it, it's going to be in a setting where I'm comfortable and at least can enjoy half of the experience.
Okay, cool.
At least the concessions will be delicious.
Okay,
yeah,
wait.
exactly.
I want to ask you guys, what do you prefer, regular movie theater or drive-in? If you have a preference.
I've actually never been to a drive-in.
No.
Never been. I love the band at the drive-in, but I've never been to a drive-in.
Oh my god.
I might have been to a drive-in when I was very young, but I don't remember it. But I'm maybe around that age. The closest thing to a drive-in other than that was when they did the Rolling Road show for Freddy vs. Jason. They had the giant inflatable screen, and they set up at that camp near Austin. And everybody's sitting outside watching the movie on a screen, but we're just not in cars. So everything else is in theater.
They used to have horror movies here at Griffith Park on the inflatable screens. I saw Halloween, Carrie, Friday the 13th, Final Chapter. It was usually broad spectrum, commercial horror movies, but it was fun. But oh my god, I can't believe.
Well, the Alamo Drafthouse puts on good shows because it's like when they're doing when they're screening things like old school stuff like Nightmare on Elm Street 3. I saw that at Drafthouse. Me and my husband. It was so much fun. Everybody was just so into the movie. And anytime Kincaid had a line, like everybody lost their shit. Like you
Yeah.
don't realize how many good lines Kincaid has until you get to sit in a theater and have those other reactions around you. It was
Yep.
wonderful.
Well,
Director
if
cameo.
anybody's in the Southern California area, you have to go to Mission Tiki Drive-In. That is the spot. It's
That
awesome.
sounds great.
It depends. I've had great experiences at a drive-in. I've had pretty bad experiences at a drive-in. I've gone to a lot of drive-ins in COVID time. I've had great experiences in regular theaters. I tend to not like large format. I'm not an IMAX guy. So
I do prefer drive-ins if I have the option.
The Kickers. The best high school band performance sequence ever in a movie is Neon Maniacs, hands down. Hands down.
what's the
Wow.
timestamp?
Now,
look
this
like,
is how you
guys?
start a show, not that
That's how you-
unprofessional tuning shit.
I'm at 106.15.
Sammy Kerr just blew up the lead singer's face. It's 106. I'm at 106.30. So Sammy Kerr is about to play the high school dance.
Okay.
Close up on tight shot on his eyes. Oh, well, I'm behind you guys though. Sorry. I'm a few seconds.
There's the piece of gear he pilfered from Vince Neil right there. On the bottom. It'd been cool if they'd had like all the guys that were popular at that time, like donate pieces of gear.
Right.
Like Black, we're gonna need that cod piece. And,
Or what if they had like Rudy Sarzo on bass here and the Dawkins guitarist on guitar and
well, like they did for Marky Mark and Rockstar, where they had Zach Wilde and
sure, yeah.
Jason Bonham, I think, was on drums. It was an all-star band that was backing up Marky when he did his audition or when he's singing with his band.
Yeah. You have like Tommy Lee on the drums. That'd be great.
Just keep any children out of the pool if Tommy Lee's on the drums.
He probably would have done it just for free jack or something, just if I can bang half the chicks in the auditorium, I'll do it for jack. Tommy Lee.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Drive-in in German means Autokino. Okay. Learn something new every day.
Use it in a sentence.
I'm going to go watch Halloween Kills at the Autokino.
You know what's great is that all those high schoolers are just like, wow, somebody dressed up as zombie Sammy Kerr. That's kind of fast, but all right.
Oh, she just said, "Oh, he's better than the real Sammy."
Like too soon?
Yeah.
You don't see Sammy Kerr cosplay at conventions now, do you?
Unfortunately, no.
Yeah.
Oh, that should be
would
remedied.
Cool.
Oh, Jesus. I'm texting someone right now to do it because she could so pull it off.
Awesome. And it would be such a good cosplay too. I mean, like with the burn,
It
would
totally
would,
would
yeah.
be.
It would, yeah.
it would be amazing.
And one person would get the reference.
Pretty much.
Oh,
I
I
think
don't
they
know
had
about
him
that.
choreograph this whole routine because it looks like something you'd see on Solid Gold.
Well, he did just do a really nice tight spin there. I think he spin like landed on his knees too. So I mean that's pretty athletic,
Interpretive dance is an art.
It is. It is an art.
You just don't see enough, Norwegian death metal bands doing gymnastics and
That's true.
interpretive dance on stage.
It's true.
But they don't kill people with their guitars like he's getting ready to do.
But they do occasionally burn down churches.
They do burn down church. They do kill people and burn down
kill
churches.
each other.
And
They kill
sometimes,
each other. Yeah.
sometimes their dead bandmates make album art. So there you go.
Yeah, not good.
Hey, which of you nerds has played Guilty Gear? None of you?
Is this a game you can play at parties?
It's a video game, old man.
Guilty Gear?
I've heard of it, but I haven't
because
played it.
because the characters are inspired by different musicians and whatnot. And there's a rock and roll witch named Eno, and I'm like, wait, was Eno inspired by Sammy Kerr? And I think that's too far of a stretch.
But you never.
But
know.
I don't know if I'm wrong either now.
Like, I would not be objected to gaming, but I just know me, and it would become a principle of the thing that I would need to sit there indefinitely for the rest of my natural life until I got to said level of anything. So I just can't. If I bring it in,
it's a fighting game. It's just a fighting game. You know, you sit down, you play a few rounds, and you put it down. That's the extent of my attention span.
Who needs a video game to do that? You can just go to the Walmart and point at someone and start a fight.
Hey, good night, Mike. Take care, man. Well, there you go. Yeah.
I'm very annoyed with like some of the bras in this movie and just undergarments in general because it's like, what are these? You're missing so much material.
So hear me out. Well, material, but hear me out here. So the sequel should have been a versus film, and it should be Mary Lou Mahoney versus Sammy Kerr because they could both do the stage thing, right?
Yeah, that's true.
That's a very good idea.
That'd be good.
One of those films got a sequel, and it wasn't this one.
That's true. I can't take my eyes off this guy's hair. It's almost got that like flock of seagulls kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
I ran.
But I'm confused. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm confused by some of the Halloween costumes that are like 80s, but this was actually in the 80s. And then my brain is trying to process that. Like, how are they just dressed like they normally dressed? Is that just me?
All I know is that people were in costumes a second before, and now people are running around without them. So I'm like, maybe they're wearing on top of them. I don't know.
Jeremy used to love Flock of Seagulls, and he loved the Space Age Love Song. Mm-hmm. He used to play that all the time. The time.
So that's your defense if the crimes ever get prosecuted?
It's a good song.
On repeat.
I mean, I like the song, but I mean, he used to play it all the time. He loved it. Now he's all about Smashing Pumpkins, and every time we're in the car, he's like, "Listen to Rocket, listen to Space Boy," and I'm just like, all right, again. I love Smashing Pumpkins, but I can only listen to Rocket and Space Boy so many times.
Yeah, the hair, like I just want to yell for hair and makeup through this. I do have to say it is distracting.
I know everyone's like pin dropped on this commentary as we says for the last 1 minute said absolutely nothing. Because you realize that none of the folks watching this channel are watching this movie, right? Not a one.
Well, they should.
Wow, that was shocking.
They're missing out.
That was a shocking wet willy.
Dave, those metal blank tapes, bad mistake if you wanted longevity, though. They really were.
high Halloween dance. That's the best way to go to a
They were
Halloween
a thing
dance.
for a short while.
Yeah, and then we realized that they got magnetized and just screwed your life.
Yep.
Because they made the tapes out of something that could be magnetized. Mike, do you still own a tape player?
No.
See, I have 3 in this house.
Mm.
And it's like they're all vintage because all the new ones. Well, I have one.
Pretty
I
sure
have one newer
Ghostbusters
boombox,
noise.
and like all the tapes are dying now. Like seriously, it's pretty depressing.
That's the only bad thing about VHS is that eventually those tapes will go bad too, just because of the way they're designed, the way they're made.
Definitely.
Yeah. Next week, I say we do a shocker live commentary. Who's up for shocker?
Oh, me.
I'm in.
Shocker.
Lauren's already gone.
Yes. Lauren's
Shocker.
like, peace out.
Okay, it's either shocker or The Hills Have Eyes 2. You pick.
Hills Have Eyes too. Easy. Either Hills Have Eyes too.
Come on.
They're both bad films, but they're not shocker.
Listen,
Just put it out there and then got upset. You put it out there as an option, and then you're like,
Not the second Hills Have Eyes 2. I don't want to watch the sequel to the remake. I'll watch the sequel to. I'll watch Wes Craven's sequel.
Yeah,
not
the
the sequel to the remake.
What is the Wes Craven thing? Can we just not do Wes Craven? That would be great.
Why do you got against Wes Craven?
It's just not that. It's just, again, it's like, I don't know. There's so much great work that came out in the 80s and 90s and 70s that doesn't have his name on it. I just don't know why we're going back to him. I love the original Hills Have Eyes. I love Last House on the Left. I love the original Nightmare on Elm Street. I love Serpent the Rainbow, but that's it.
Didn't somebody mention Trick or Treats?
Trick or Treats. Yeah, that one's. It's
I'll watch that again before.
It's a little boring, but
is it?
Okay. How about Deadly Blessing, Lauren?
I'll take Deadly Blessing over Deadly Friend. That's for goddamn sure.
Okay, I would have
been like Deadly Friend over Deadly Blessing.
Yeah.
I was gonna say let's do Deadly Blessing followed by Deadly Friend. Have like a double deadly Wes Craven.
I mean, the word friend shouldn't be used if this is the conversation we're having.
But what if it's associated with deadly though? It's a deadly friend.
I really don't want to see the first Buffy the Vampire Slayer as a robot throwing basketballs at people's heads ever again in my life.
I love that.
That's my favorite scene.
I love that part.
Awful.
That's about the only thing. I remember. Of course, I remember that. I also remember Christy Swanson going beep 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 beep.
It's pretty painful to watch.
Dan would have to include that in his Little House on the Prairie horror marathon. Because her boyfriend, the star of the show, was on Little House on the Prairie. Matthew Labordeaux, or whatever his name was, Labordeaux.
Psycho Cop would be a fun live commentary, Matt. I agree. Feels like this movie's been going on for a long time, but it's only been going on for an hour and 18 minutes.
Yeps.
They do stuff a lot into it, which is pretty cool. It doesn't. I don't know. It feels like it's moving along at a fine pace. It just feels like it just doesn't. There's just stuff happening all the time.
Yeah. And even though it's set on Halloween, it doesn't feel like Halloween to me.
No.
This movie. It never has.
No.
So few films pull that off. It's really troubling.
Yeah. I mean, clearly this was probably shot in California.
I can't disagree with that argument, but I don't think the point of the film was to be about Halloween as much as it was the kid and his fascination with the satanic rock star that came back to take revenge on his high school for not allowing him to play at the dance, because that's why Eddie was so attached to him, because he felt like he had something in common, because Sammy Kerr went to that high school and was from his town. So I think that was more of the story than the setting, but it was, if you're going to have a zombified dead satanic rock star, Halloween fits right in.
Hmm.
I don't
Well,
know.
I just feel like if they purposely set a movie on Halloween, like let's just have a few Halloween vibes. Just because otherwise just set it at another time. Who cares? Like, because
Wait,
clearly the
Susan,
costumes were
that's
not
kind of
a thing.
Susan. You're in my sweet spot now because like here's the thing: like people always talk about even in the Halloween series, like oh the fourth film's opening is so it feels like it doesn't to me. So they shot things in fall. That's not what the Halloween season is to me at all.
Yeah, it's got to be more than that. I mean, just
Yeah,
some leaves or whatever.
No, I
is not...
love that opening. I love everything about that opening. The music, the shots of the farmland. Oh,
and I hear that from people. I just don't get it.
oh.
I don't get
Taser's
Yeah,
the
I mean,
cop with his own taser.
I mean,
One
it's
thing
not
left
just...
are smoking boots.
Yeah, but
This
not
is
just a
definitely
fall vibe.
an of its time film. It was kind of definitely, when somebody says you kind of had to be there in order to get all the references and all of the little small bits and pieces in this film, you kind of did have to be aware of what was going on at that time in popular culture and in society in general to get all the little Easter eggs and nooks and crannies.
Mhm.
I can see how it would be a very flat and like, what's so good about this experience to a modern person? But being 18 in 1986, like, yeah, that's what it looked like. I remember that. That's cool.
I did see some leaves on the ground. So either they shot this in the Midwest or they brought in the leaves. John Carpenter's Halloween style.
In a bag.
Well,
Today
Eddie
they
Weinbauer's
market
mom was going
leaves
to
together.
a Halloween party, and her accountant boyfriend showed up dressed as Rambo. So there was a reference to some kind of a office Halloween party, and he was grounded from going outside because of something that happened, and he couldn't go to the dance. There's little bits in there. Yeah, sure. There's not a flashing like neon light that says, "Hey, it's Halloween."
No,
But
I'm not.
in the background, there's little bits and pieces.
Yeah, but that's not. I really like feeling the season.
Yeah.
And I don't feel the season just because you film things that happen to take place during the season.
Exactly.
It's a different thing for me. Again, Midnight Hour would be the test to put everything against because that movie feels exactly like the Halloweens from my youth.
To me, Halloween is just like another day in real life, but you put some decorations up and you eat some
Oh,
candy,
see,
you
it's
watch
not
some
for
horror
me.
movies,
No.
but it's still to me feels like life, just with some decorations and
No.
yeah, it's Halloween.
No, there's a certain energy about it. You know what I mean? Because you've got different vibrations from different people. Like some people are scared of it, and you've got some people that love it, and you've got, I mean, just throw a cemetery in the background or some trick-or-treaters running by or people running in a store to buy costumes or whatever. To me, there's like so much involved with it. Not just like Lauren said, not just some leaves falling from some trees or whatever. There's a whole energy about it, and it kind of builds up. And then when it gets to Halloween, it's kind of, at its peak. There are people, hayrides, haunted houses. I mean, there are so little things that if someone's just driving down the street right on Halloween or around Halloween, they'll be driving past, an amusement park with a haunted house or something. There are just different little tip-offs to things, I mean, the little, air, what do you call those? The little figures that they put out.
Wacky waving inflatable.
Yes, the wacky waving
Yes.
dude, that looks like Frankenstein. I mean, there's just so much that as an individual you notice around Halloween that give it that kind of ambiance that is missing from so many movies, that I think that it becomes that people just say, well, can I at least have some damn orange and yellow leaves at least? Like, I think that becomes like the bare minimum because people don't film in such a way or put things just in the background to make people to elicit that reaction from people that they get desperate and they're like, well, then can I at least have some leaves? Because let's face it, like Halloween, whether you like it, whether you hate it, doesn't matter. Halloween 1978, I'm speaking about, they had 2 bags of leaves that they transported from place to place. They were here, they were in Pasadena. It's 1,000,000 degrees during the time they were filming. And yet as an individual who saw the movie repeatedly many times, I never really thought about the fact that the leaves were missing. I felt Halloween out of it. So, I mean, to me, there are a lot of things that can encompass that kind of energy that I just don't. I love this movie. Don't get me wrong, but I just feel like set it at a different time because I don't really feel Halloween
Well,
from it.
we just saw his pumpkins that were on his front stoop, and when that one kid came up to confront him about, I don't know what you did to that tape, but you're into some weird fucking shit. And Eddie puts up his hand, and then the flames and the pumpkins raise up.
Yeah, they went all great white at the club.
Yeah.
I was
Oh,
thinking
God.
pink. Okay.
Oh no, you didn't.
I will do all the rock and roll tragedy references I can.
Don't reference Dimebag. Please don't reference Dimebag.
So this one time with Dimebag,
Don't do it.
Soft kitty.
You know, you mentioned something, Susan. With the original Halloween, I never paid attention to the palm trees in the background until somebody pointed them out to me. And I'm like, wait a
Nightmare on
minute,
Elm Street has palm trees too.
Yeah,
there's no
but it
palm
feels
trees
like
in Illinois.
Halloween. Yeah. And I mean, there are some horror movies that are not supposed to be taking place on Halloween that feel like Halloween. So I think that it works both ways. You know, I just think that if you're going to say it's on Halloween, it's a benefit. Make it feel like it.
there's a great film to watch on the Halloween season, which is the TV movie version of The Other by Thomas Tyron. If you want to see something that feels like the holiday, like that movie is frigging perfect for it. And it's a period piece, and that helps. And period pieces tend to get away with a lot of the Halloween feel too. To me, something about modernity doesn't really play as well.
What was the name of it again? I'm going to
The
write
Other?
it down. Not to be confused with The Others.
No, don't go near that piece of shit. A bunch of overpriced actors mope around and just
Great performance from Nicole Kidman.
fuck Nicole Kidman.
Brilliant performance from Nicole Kidman.
That movie.
Oh my
pisses
God,
But
me
she's
off.
really good in practical
guys.
magic.
Keep them. I have to keep them away from each other right now.
I agree, Matt. Blair Witch 2 does feel like a Halloween movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
great
I
film.
like Blair Witch 2 a lot. In its own weird little way.
Yes, it is Ghost. I wouldn't have said it if it wasn't true. Well, I might have, but I didn't.
Why
is
is
it-
going on in this radio station? Is there an electrical storm happening?
I don't want to know what caller number 6 gets.
It's Gene Simmons.
Where's my elephant? Where's my elephant?
We're going to electrocute the 7th caller.
This movie desperately needed a corpse party. Definitely. Whereas all the dead people just show up at one place.
And then when did the song Dead Man's Party come out? Because that would have worked.
Yeah.
The scene's already passed, but I love the part where he's trying to give up metal. He's like going cold turkey. He's trying to give up metal, and he turns on the radio, and I forget what he's listening to, but he's like, "Oh man, death is preferable to this shit." And he turns it back on. I was kind of like, "Yeah, I know how you feel." Yeah. And the one radio that was going in the station was playing country music, but it was not affected by the Sammy Kerr electrical fit.
That's because nothing can fuck with the Oak Ridge Boys.
Hey, look, if you play a country record backwards, okay, you're going to get your truck back, your girlfriend back, your dog back, the whole nine. So
You'll be
But you
sober.
will have never gotten to fuck your cousin.
That's the best part.
You'll suddenly be able to spell complex words. You'll finally believe that Canada is a real country.
Have you ever seen it? Have you ever been there?
I've been
How
there.
do you? Oh, okay.
I've been there.
Unless a lot of French-speaking people invaded America and I didn't notice.
That may have happened.
He just wants
Dave,
to get
I
out
would
of there.
join you. However, I would probably ruin your experience, so I won't put you through that.
I want to know, did anybody already see Halloween Kills at Beyond Fest here? Because, like, if I could actually leave the house, I would have gone.
Susan, it's movie of the year. We've had this discussion.
It's the movie of the year.
It is a movie, and this is a year.
I've only heard from one. Well, I shouldn't say. One person I know that whose opinion I trust has seen it, and he did not like it. His words. It effing sucks. So.
But okay, now wait though, Piz. You think I'm going to give it a B+? And your friend?
Well, but I mean, you never. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he was having a bad day. Maybe he had stale popcorn. I don't know.
Or maybe the movie sucks.
He was not having a good time watching Halloween Kills.
Oh no. Oh.
But there's been all kind, every other tweet or whatever I've seen about it from that screening has been very positive. So
I just want to know, on a scale of Resurrection to Halloween 1978, what's
it can't be Resurrection bad.
No, you're going in the wrong direction. It's more like Resurrection forward. Because I actually, as much as people put and hey, lay off my buddy Buster Rhymes, man. Come on, he's Buster.
I'm sorry.
Happy
Yeah, but I have not seen, in my personal opinion, an improvement on that film since it was made. None of the films that came after it are any better than that movie. You know, people always talk about Resurrection is horrible. Well, Rob Zombie's Halloween 1 and 2. No, I'd rather not.
Okay, you
And
don't think
2018, I actually like even less than Rob Zombie's movie.
Oh no,
I won't go that far.
I mean,
but
I
do
don't
hate
agree.
that
I
movie.
mean, that's totally fine by me, but I just don't agree.
We did do a commentary for Resurrection the last season of Sausage Factory, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We never need to do anything like that ever fucking again.
I sat through the Rob Zombies abominations. The least you guys could do is do me a solid with the Resurrection. I mean, it's not a good movie. I can't defend
I don't want Tyra Banks to make my cup of coffee. I'm just saying.
No, stay away from my coffee.
If only we could have gotten like a Michael Myers on America's Next Top Model and just cross promote, but they couldn't give me that. So
the new 2021 Mask.
I want to see Michael Myers
Model
smile
Venom.
with his eyes. I want to see Tyra flip out and go, "We were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you," before he stabs her.
Yeah.
Well, Busta could have been on Shark Week.
Oh, we're missing the nerd kiss, guys.
Wait, LL Cool J? You mean?
No, Busta, because he called Michael Myers is a shark.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
I was thinking
was an
LL Cool J with
H2O.
Deep Blue Sea and all, and has like shark's fin.
LL Cool J was an H2O.
His head
I
was
love
like a
LL
shark's
Cool
fin. You're
J.
correct,
Don't
Sam.
come for me.
I
There you
never
go.
understood that lyric at all.
There's that was
Glenn Morgan.
The film I don't need to go back to for a good long time.
Yeah, it's not a movie I watch very often, but I always enjoy it when I do watch it for what it is. And the soundtrack is worth the watch alone. I love the music.
stuntman Dan Bradley, the original Jason from Friday the 13th Part 6, was a stuntman on this film.
Oh,
Yeah.
very
right
cool.
there.
He was also the stunt coordinator. Wow. He was the man who was too fat to play Jason.
Kevin
Kevin
Yeager did the
Yeager.
makeup effects.
I like his work.
Kevin Yeager also was he played the guitar on that little. He was in the band. On the during the thing. So. All right, we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys later. Take care. I'm joking. So anyway, go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
I would say it was a valiant effort. I like it. I give it a higher mark than I expect anybody else to. I completely understand people not getting it or wanting to get it or even liking it for, whatever legitimate reasons they have. But it's always it's a fun watch, and I enjoy it.
Dave watches this movie 3 times a week. He's a super fan, man. Damn.
I haven't seen it for about 20 years, and I'm glad I saw it. But It might be another 20 before I check it out again. I don't know.
It's been a few years for me too, but it's fun. It's a good one to revisit every now and again.
It's
Good
fun.
music. It's pretty cool.
Okay, Piz, did you change Lauren's name to Dr. Sartain was
No,
wrong?
He did that himself.
Oh my god, it's so funny. I can't. I hate Sartain. Why? Why did they do that?
Now they're going full Rob Zombie from what I can tell from the trailer, because it's now just a mayhem film where Michael Myers takes out an entire fire department like Jason Voorhees or something. I don't know what angle they're going with, but it does not seem like a Halloween type movie to me. It seems more like just a Friday the 13th or a Rob Zombie mayhem film where it's got more gore. That's like the selling point I've heard from everybody that says positive things about it. The gore is amazing. It's got more gore. So I'm thinking that's all it has.
35%.
And is that really a Halloween movie?
The original Halloween is a suspense film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's more of a Hitchcock
That's why
film.
it works. And we've gotten so far away from that. And there's a percentage of the audience that's cool with that they want just a generic slasher. I don't want a generic slasher anymore. Whether it's called Halloween or not, by the way. I don't want a generic. I want you to do something cool and new, or at least feel fresh. I've seen how many in the last year. How many times have you guys watched a slasher that wanted to feel retro? Because I think we all have, right? It's tired.
Listen.
It's old. Don't do it.
If you want new and fresh, wait until Blumhouse releases their take on Halloween 3. Okay,
I'm waiting for their take on The Exorcist.
That is one of the big rumors that after this trilogy is complete, they are going to take on Halloween. They will check on Season of the Witch.
And then in probably 2025, we'll have another reboot trilogy.
Also titled just Halloween.
Yep.
See, and that's the thing. Like, why is everything just Halloween? Halloween, Halloween. No, stop. Like, at least this one is Halloween Kills.
Which makes no grammatic sense.
I can see the reviews. I know, but I can see the reviews. Halloween Kills, whatever.
Oh, that's not going to be the reviews.
No, but I just mean people are going to use that for
how about this?
Against.
How about this for a subtitle? Halloween. We shouldn't have given the Loomis speeches to Laurie while she's on the hospital bed. Period.
Oh.
Let's save the Halloween Kills talk for the Halloween Kills episode.
Let's just never do it.
It's so pervasive.
We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it.
It's so pervasive. I mean, what's today? Today's the 5th. We have 10 days. So
10 days. 10 days. Yep.
Come on, Comet, hit us.
I know.
No,
I'm rolling out the red carpet for the extinction level event.
No, the K2 Comet isn't scheduled until December 2022. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer.
Well, ends won't be out by then, at least.
True.
I read some non-spoiler reviews, just written reviews of it, and they act like it just is like juggling, like just on like a treadmill, like just walking in place or something. So I don't know.
I just want to enjoy my popcorn and my soda and watch a movie and laugh at other people getting scared and maybe have a good time.
That's right.
I have no expectations for this movie because I'm just like, I want to feel like it's Halloween season again. Mm-hmm. And there's a Halloween movie in the theaters. Excellent. I am down with this. It's like just part of the celebration of these last couple of months. Cause we got to start celebrating in September. Mm-hmm. So, a few months of spooky seasons. And I mean, like, honestly, it's so great because I go outside of my house now. The entire block is like got their Halloween decorations out. Like, apparently I moved into the neighborhood that is really on board with Halloween. And we have a few, but everybody else's look first rate. And I am so delighted by it. I can't wait for actual Halloween night.
That's cool.
Yes.
That's cool.
So I'm just taking Halloween Kills as sort of like, here's a little extra thing for you to possibly enjoy. And that's what I'm hoping for.
Yep.
It's like, here's a little bit of extra for a little treat. You can scream into the void for a bit. You know.
I hate to be the razor blade in the apple guy.
Oh no, here it comes.
Just be careful what treat you consume. Now, if anybody goes to this film and they have a good time, they're having a bad day, and they enjoy it for whatever reason, I'm not against that. But just understand that I'm going to see it for what it is, and when I comment on it, I'm not going to have that. I don't know. I'm going to see it for what it is, and of course, I hope the last one was good, but it wasn't. This is a sequel to a bad movie. I'm not expecting it all of a sudden to be great.
But sometimes sequels to bad movies are good. Look at that Ouija movie, right?
Mhm.
Right.
I didn't see it.
And I think also with a huge franchise that is extremely commercially accepted, right? I think that there are just there's so much pressure put on them that I honestly don't think it's going to 100% satisfy anyone. Because even if you love one of the Halloween films, you're still going to have some little side note of, but if they just would have, because everybody has their own personal idea of what the best movie is or the greatest potential for X, Y, and Z franchises. And I think that the more well-known it is, the higher the expectations are, and it's just going to be impossible for anybody to totally meet or exceed that. I mean, just like when things are hyped and hyped and hyped, I've watched them and I've thought, well, that wasn't good. But if I would subtract all of the hype that I saw and heard, I would have thought that whatever it was a good movie, so.
And that's why you're going to give it a B+.
Probably. I mean, probably.
They forget everything that made the original good. That's what, when you tell me you're making a movie that's the best movie since the original and maybe even better than the original, like in the marketing crap from the last film, and then I go and I see a half-ass, it's got all the original ideas are horrible and all the other ideas are just pieces of other sequels that supposedly didn't exist anymore. That doesn't equal a good Halloween film to me. And if I'm going to see a sequel to that, well, I'm not going to expect them to all of a sudden fix everything that they screwed up. There's going to be a continuation and a piling on. A house with a bad foundation is not going to, be something you want to build on. The original, like Lauren said, is a suspense film. It's more about what you don't see. It's more about the shadows. It's more of a feeling. It's a slower paced, almost like the original Alien versus Aliens. It's more of a slow pace.
This is 2021. We don't do slow. We don't do suspense.
We don't do
If you're going to make a good Halloween film or a good Alien film.
Same word.
But it's more like reading a book. The original was more like reading a book. Okay, wait. Listen, though. When you leave room for your imagination to fill in the blanks, you are always going to get it right.
Kentucky.
You're always going to get it right.
I'd rather die than read a book.
If you leave enough room, okay, it's like music, okay? I mean, if you have a drummer that is filling every hole, like it's going to be...
Wait, best life ever for that drummer.
Back to Tommy Lee.
Into it. Yeah, but I mean, it's just like, leave a little breathing room, right? And the original Halloween left a little breathing room for your own imagination to fill in the blanks. And when your imagination does it, it's the way that you want to see it, right? So you're going to make it even better in your mind. People thought when they asked people after viewing the movie if they saw this or that blood-wise or gore-wise, they thought they saw it because their brain filled in the blanks. When you try too hard and you try to do too much, it's not going to be that good. I think they can't replicate it because back then it was more of, this independent movie. Everybody was working together and they were just trying to make something different and to do it organically. And nobody knows how to do shit organically anymore. Let's just call it like it is. There are people that can and that will, but those aren't the people in power, so.
Listen, Susan, your mind is in the gutter talking about filling all the holes, filling in all the blanks. I mean, come on, Susan.
It says problematic here. I have to live up to this, okay?
You've turned this thing X-rated here. Jeez.
All of her points are extremely valid. I just kind of side with Lauren where these films, it's over. It's like you're still here, you're still making these films. It's like, oh, did you hear the Friday the 13th, bring it back home where we normally live. The Friday the 13th lawsuit's been settled, and now we can get more movies. And I'm
we
like,
can't.
No. And if we could, I wouldn't want them.
I agree with that too.
Listen,
that's why I don't want a new Halloween film. Make something else.
I'm going to read a little bit.
They want a quick payday.
Of the majorettes.
I want to read a little bit from
guaranteed
a brilliant
audience.
novel called The Majorettes. This is what I want to read from. Okay, it's called The Majorettes. Okay, you're talking about Catcher in the Rye. This is the book they're going to find on me after I go after I go off the deep end. Okay,
Somebody screen record this right now.
Wait. Pez, why do I feel that there's some cracks in the spine from some well-read pages?
Are you serious? I mean, look at this. Oh my God, yeah. It's highlighted, it's circled. I mean, yeah. The only book that I feel more akin to is Jaws: The Revenge, and there's something about the shark that just appeals. I feel like I am the shark.
The voodoo priest that cut out of the film and the CIA agents, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's Jacques? Something Jacques is the voodoo guy.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, I saw somebody in the chat mention Targets. That's a great freaking movie.
It is.
Yeah, that's a great freaking movie. Orc coming through with the $2 super chat. Happy October, you sexy mofos. Well, thank you, Orc.
So what is our cut of that exactly? Is that 40 something cents or something?
It will all go into the pocket of the sexiest mofo. And that's B-Movie Mike. So thank you, Orc. Appreciate that.
YouTube gets their 30%.
I never get the money.
That's true. I see MJ in the chat. What's up, MJ? How are you, buddy? I see Cole is gay in the chat. Cole is gay. How are you? Hope you have a great Halloween season and wish you all the best. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate that. All right. So we watched and discussed. We watched and we kind of discussed a little bit trick or treat among many other topics. Some of them just absolutely filthy. Thanks to Susan. My God.
Musically, I read like music charts.
Healthy, yes.
Not.
Hold on a minute.
Any other time.
I've got to edit your name here, Susan. Hold on a second.
Oh no!
All right, here we go. Filth mouth over there. My God.
I will make you proud. Oh wait, I have to go this way.
Jeez. All right. Well, let's. I guess we can go ahead and call it a night here. We will return next week. I don't know what we'll do next week. I'm sorry. We'll probably have to take next week off because the week after is Halloween Kill. No, wait a minute. What day is this?
It's the 5th.
Who am I here?
It is October 5th.
The fact that we're doing this on a Tuesday has thrown me. So next week is Halloween Kills. So we'll probably do our Halloween Kills show either the following Monday or Tuesday, so we can strike while the anger is still burning white hot in B-Movie Mike.
I won't get to see it until Monday, the 18th.
Okay, well we'll do Tuesday then. We'll do Tuesday.
I'll see everyone next month.
My God, no, don't leave us. No.
Mark your calendars for that, everybody. That will be a show to remember. That may be our final show. I don't know. We may all it may tear us all apart. I don't know.
It's pretty appropriate because
okay, so if that's going to be the final show, then I need to ask, do I look okay in yellow for when Nancy Grace interviews me? Yes or no?
Yellow's your color, Susan.
100%.
Yellow's your cousin. Your color.
ID channel will be interviewing me about what happened, what went down on the episode. I just need to know what to wear. That's all.
The 19th, as we learned in Resurrection, which is the day of the show, is Michael Myers' birthday. So it's pretty appropriate.
That is.
It's also my birthday, so that'd be kind of weird.
So
movie Michael Myers?
We share a birthday.
You're gonna have
Got it.
You're gonna have a great birthday. You're gonna have a great birthday, Mike. I promise.
This could be fun.
Uh-huh. All right, let's where can we find you on social media, Sam?
Mostly on Twitter. I'm a Shibi_GBs, and you can catch me on the YouTubes. Usually I'm visited by voices, and then here, and then sometimes on my main channel, which is just ShibiGBs. But it's been busy lately, so haven't had a lot of time to put any videos out right now. But I'm still active on Twitter, and I'm still watching horror movies. So that's where you can catch me most of the time.
And this was your first viewing of Trick or Treat. What were your thoughts?
I liked it. You know, I'd probably go. You know, I'd give it a B+, but I kind of want to go back and watch it again. You know, probably on DVD, just a little bit better quality. But this is a movie that I'd probably go back to a couple times because, Mike said it best. It's kind of like just it's like comfort food. It's like mac and cheese. But no, I just recommend for me. I know it's something I didn't hate. Everybody is shocked and silent.
I know, considering everything you do hate, which is like everything.
Just most things.
Filth Mouth, where can we find you on social media?
Horror Gal Susan on all the platforms, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Letterboxd, Facebook, but I just post whenever I put a new video there. I don't really go into it. And Gmail and Snapchat and just everywhere, Horror Gal Susan. And I will be having a YouTube video within this next week, like a huge horror Halloween haul video, because apparently that's what people like to see. So that's what I'm going to put up this week. So I'm not sure what day, though. I don't want to say, because every time I say, I become problematic and something happens and I don't upload it. So
embrace it.
I embrace my problematic nature. All right. Excellent. And now wait, where are we? Over here. My filth mouth nature.
Filth mouth.
Okay with it. I'm okay.
Dr. Sartain, where can we find you?
In bed in about 10 minutes.
Okay.
With his spine pen.
So Google's a thing. You can find me pretty easily, visited by voices wherever I am.
Very cool. Mike, what's up? What's up with you, man? How are you physically and mentally and emotionally preparing for Halloween Kills next week?
It's rough. I'm taking one for the team on this, but it's all right. I'm a stand-up guy. I'll do it. I'm just trying to put it out of my mind and not let the magnitude of the pain I'm gonna experience overwhelm me before it happens. I'm gonna go in strong and brave, and hopefully I come out the other end and I can talk to you guys about it the next day. I don't know. It's gonna be touch and go.
We'll be thinking about you, Mike. That's for sure. We'll be thinking about you.
Positive thoughts will be welcome.
Positive thoughts, positive vibes. This is going out to Mike. I have got Dwight Little coming on my channel on Monday the 11th for a blood stream, so that'll be fun. Lots to talk about with him. Doing a lot of I've got to get around to the reviewing the Dollar Tree Horror Movie Challenge selections, which I'm trying to prepare for that. And I've got a bunch of reviews coming out, unboxing stuff with Jeremy. I'm hoping I can fit it all in October. Maybe I've stretched myself too thin. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But anyway, thank you all for tuning in tonight. It was a lot of fun. Shout out to Orc for the $2 super chat. Thank you, sir. That was very kind of you. Shout out to Jess for suggesting we do a live commentary. I'm sure this will be the first of many future ones that we do. Let's see who's still with us tonight. The Daily Ghost. There's Jess, Cable Channel 11. Dave Vanderhoff says this is the best stream. Cool. All right. Appreciate that. There's my buddy Chris from Germany. Dan Shines in the chat. Matt. There's Orc. There's MJ. Let's talk for a minute. Cole is gay. Stopped by. Let's see. Mike Barrett. Cliff Booth. Big Crack Rock. DJ Donnelly was here for a while. Joe Reese. Yeah, thank you all for tuning in. Oh, and we've got a brand new outro too. So check that out. All right. All right. We'll see you guys in a couple of weeks for the Halloween Kills show. Until then, take care and peace.
Watch or be punished.
I was a mild-mannered chemist.
Okay.